I would like to call the July 19th, 2021 call board meeting, budget public hearing to order at 6:00 p.m. May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Smith made the motion. Mr. Gartrell made the second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. The agenda is approved. Next item on our agenda is a budget presentation from Amy Smith, our Chief Financial Officer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Seegers has pulled up our FY22 tentative budget as it was approved last week. Just point out a couple things. We have less than a $42,000 increase from prior year. We have not received the tax digest at this time, but we are hopeful to have some information from the county maybe the third week of July. So we'll see. I don't know if it'll be in the final format, but we should get some information. This does include some, but not all, of the CARES CRISA ART grant funds. We did get approval on our ART budget at the end of last week, so we will be bringing an amendment at a later date to add those ART funds to the budget. But at this time, this is the proposed tentative, the approved tentative budget as it was presented at the regular board meeting. The total general fund budget is $48,740,083. We have Fund 150 consolidation of funds of $468,253. Special revenue funds totaling $6,880,247. Capital projects, $7,800,000. And as I always love to report, we have a zero fund balance predicted for debt service for the next year. Do y'all have any questions?
As we always love to hear, we have projected zero debt.
We have had 3 budget workshops at this point, and again, we've had the first public hearing. This is would be public hearing number 2 as required by the Georgia Department of Education. So unless y'all have questions, that's all I have.
I don't have any questions. Anybody else? Now that we have our full budget presented, I would like to open the floor to comments. Is there anyone here who would like to comment on the FY22 budget? Before you speak, please give your name for the record. I would remind each speaker that comments should address the topic of the FY22 budget only. Is there anyone here who would like to comment on the FY22 budget? All right. Seeing as we have no one responding. At this time, I will make a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss or deliberate upon the appointment, employment, compensation, hiring, disciplinary action or dismissal, or periodic evaluation or rating of a public officer or employee, or to interview applicants for the position of superintendent. All right, I made that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Mr. Holland, is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. We are adjourned to executive session at 6:04 p.m. A motion was made by Steve, I believe, wasn't it?
It wasn't Steve.
A motion was made by Steve Smith and seconded by Tucker Green to come out of executive session at 6:30 p.m. The vote was 5-0 and no other action was taken. Do I hear a motion to approve the executive session minutes as presented?
So moved.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? 5-0. All right. We'll proceed to action items. Approval of personnel. Do I hear a motion to approve the personnel action report as presented?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Mr. Smith made the motion, Mr. Gartrell made the second. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. It's unanimous. All right, Mr. Superintendent, the approval of MOU with GLRS and the Pickens County Board of Education.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This evening, I'm asking the board to approve our memorandum of agreement with the Georgia Learning Resources System Network. This organization supports the statewide infrastructure needed to provide tiered supports that will impact students with disabilities and strengthen Georgia's Every Student Succeeds Act plan. While this memorandum is between the Georgia Department of Education and Pickens County Schools, GLRS is the network used to facilitate the state's effort to provide these learning services. And this will be at no cost to us, but we are their fiscal agent. So I'm asking for approval of this MOU.
All right. Do I hear a motion to approve the MOU with the GLRS and the Pickens County Board of Education?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gartrell made the motion, Mr. Smith made the second. Is there any discussion? All in favor? 5-0, motion passes unanimously. All right, the next is an approval of MOU with Dalton State College and the Pickens County Board of Education. Mr. Young, do you have any comments on this action item?
I would ask that the board approve this memorandum of understanding, Madam Chair, with Dalton State for the purpose of placing student teachers in our classrooms. We try to cast a broad net when it comes to that. Always helps with our recruiting. So I would ask for approval of this MOU as well.
All right, great. Do I hear a motion to approve the MOU with Dalton State College and the Pickens County Board of Education?
I'll give the motion. I'll second.
All right, Mr. Holland made the motion, Mr. Green made the second. Is there any discussion? All in favor? The motion passes 5-0. All right, the next item is the approval of the Soliant contract. Mr. Young, do you have some information on this contract?
I do, Madam Chair. I'm going to ask the board to approve the renewal of this contract with Soliant for a speech-language pathology assistant. That's a mouthful. This person will continue to provide services to students at the junior high and at the high school as well. They will be paid an hourly rate, and the expense to the district in this coming year will be approximately $75,000. We continue to advertise and make every effort to fill this position, but until we do, we will continue to work with Soliant and contract. It's the same contract that we used last year, so I'm asking for renewal.
Okay. All right, so renewal of the contract we had last year. My understanding is that under certain circumstances, some of this money can be recouped from Medicare. So it's not a
That's
total cost to our district. We can recoup some of it. Great. All right, do I hear a motion to approve the contract with Soliant?
I'll give the motion.
All right, Mr. Holland
I'll second.
and Mr. Gartrell. Is there any discussion? All right, I guess I should have held my comment for the discussion part. All in favor? 5-0. Motion passes unanimously. All right. Do I hear a motion to adjourn our meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Mr. Green made the motion. I heard Mr. Gartrell make the second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. We are adjourned at 6:38 PM.